Hi there. My name is Chuck Millsap. I teach sixth grade PE here at IMS, and it's an exciting job. I really enjoy. I get to move around with kids all day. I mean, that's pretty fun. And I get to know your students, which has been great. There's some fun personalities and some hard workers in class. So it's been a fun start to the trimester. If you'll indulge me for just a moment, I want to just share a little bit quickly about myself. I'm originally from a little town up north, couple hours from here, called Linden, Washington. This is my 20th year of teaching health or PE. I teach both of those classes. I taught in the Seattle public schools for a number of years. And here I am, 5th year at IMS already. And like I said, I love working here. We have students who are fun, but they like take pride in learning and moving. And there's a tremendous work ethic I get to see every day. Let's see. Well, let's talk about what you came here for. And that is, what do we cover in PE class? So I'm going to pull this up, and I sent this out via Skyward earlier at the start of the trimester. And I'll send it again to you because I like to communicate every couple of weeks through Skyward, just letting you know what we've done and where we're going. And so we call this the 6th grade PE hub, and it's kind of a one-stop shop to learn about what we're doing in PE. I'm going to focus on what we will do, and I'll briefly just give you a rundown of what your students can expect, as well as grading. Those are the two hot topics. But I should just talk about PE, what we wear in PE just briefly, and that is we're not using a uniform. We're not using the locker room. I just ask students to come ready to move. And if they need a moment to change their shoes or change, there is a bathroom adjacent to right next to our gym. So students can step in the bathroom, they can change their shirt. They're in totally cool. I'll give them the time they need for that. Like last week, we did some fitness measurements, and I gave the kids a heads up that it was going to be a little more intense that day. And if they wanted to change, they would have time to change. So as far as what we'll do is, really, our program is based on, and the standards in the state of Washington are based on two key areas of focus. Obviously movement, but learning is also a huge component to our 6th grade PE class. And maybe your child or you didn't take an actual like written assessment in your PE class, but that certainly is part of our curriculum here. Because by state standard, our students should be aware of what the 5 phases of a workout include. You know, they may not think that stretching is that important now, but down the road, that information is going to really help them out so that they prevent injury and that they can also perform at their best. So that's certainly a phase of the 5 phases. That's an important part. We do talk a lot about concepts and components of fitness, and so students will be aware of aerobic and anaerobic exercise, the 2 types of exercise, as well as the 5 components of fitness that are essential to being a fit individual. And then we will take cardio and we'll examine that a little closer later in the trimester and talk about the FIT principle, which is a national acronym that's used to create a plan. FIT being frequency, I being intensity, T being time, and type. So again, learning is a huge component to this class. But we certainly can't, we're not just going to sit in front of a computer, right? We're moving at least 50% of the class session, if not more, through daily workouts. Those can look a number of different ways. Sometimes they're a group game. Sometimes they're just, we do, a warm up, and then we'll get right into like a Tabata, right? So a Tabata is a style of, of workout where you're using intervals to work and rest and back to work and then rest. We did just take some pre-fitness measurements in our cardio and muscle endurance, and so you can ask your students about that. Students can choose from a number of options. In each one of these, I should mention, if you have access to this link, you can click on it and it'll give you more information about what those measurements look like. And then we do this thing in our class. We do evaluate motor skills. And there's always some question about, well, why do motor skills, why should that count in a PE class? Well, really, your kid will have a lot of practice to work on, say, bumping a volleyball or throwing a ball at a target. And I will work on sort of the fundamental technique involved, sort of the critical elements of the skill. And then we do this thing where I have 8 skills and the students can try to spend the trimester checking them off. They can practice them at home. And I'm certainly happy to check out equipment to you. So you don't need to go buy any, ball of any kind or volleyball. Kids can check out the equipment and they'll have practice in class after we kind of gone through the 8, what we call the Elite 8. And certainly if a student needs some extra help, we can make adaptations and modifications. If I see a kid really working hard and they're just kind of missing the skill. But the truth of the matter is motor skills do play a role in lifelong fitness, right? If you like to play basketball, you're more likely to stay active and maybe play for the rest of your life. That's just what the data shows. So we do put some stock certainly into learning how to do some different motor skills, not just the fitness element of the class. Okay, so I hope that helped to see this screen. And again, I'll send this out again and you can click on each one if you really want to know more about what are the Elite 8 skills, what are the pre and post fitness measurements, and what are some examples of class workouts. You can click on those. Okay, well, let's just talk real quickly about grading. I'm one of several teachers. In fact, there's 75% of our teachers that have already made the switch to standardized grading. By next year, all teachers will move to standardized grading, where that's essentially what we're doing is we're giving your child a 1 through 4 grade. It's a better representation of what your child actually knows in relation to what the standards say. So prior to giving your child any kind of summative assessment, they will know what a 1 is, what a 2 is, what a 3 is, and what it looks like to show a 4-point proficiency. I can also send you our proficiency scales later if you care to see those, but just know this, if your child gets a 3 in PE, they're right at standard. That's what a 6th grade student in PE, what we're kind of our target we're moving towards, right? The problem is our grading system called Skyward. When I put a 3 next to your kid's name, it has a little percentage column. And what do you think Skyward gives your child for a percentage on a 3? It's gonna say 75%. And we've asked Skyward to get rid of that column. And for some reason, their software can't do that. So just know that please don't pay any attention to the percentages, because otherwise you're going to think 75%. You're going to think a C. That's just what adults our age do, because that's how it worked when we were younger. A 3 is right where you want to be. A 4 would be beyond grade level. Okay. And again, kids will have the proficiency standards spelled out for them. They'll know what that means to be a 1 through 4, and they can share that with you. All right, that was a really quick look at our program. And I only get 60 days with your students. I wish it was a longer course, but it's only a trimester. But there it is. And please email me if you have questions. I'd love to answer them. And if there are ever any concerns, please let me know. Okay, thanks so much. I look forward to working with your child this trimester.